Hello everyone, it's Scott and we're back for another Magic the Gathering Arena Best of 3 video, and today we're going to be playing Gruul Prowess, and it's a deck I used over the weekend in a couple of store championships to win both events, so I want to take it out for a spin on Arena and show you what I've got with this particular deck. So first I've got 4 copies of Monastery Swiftspear, okay, core part of any red deck since it became standard legal again. I also have 4 copies of Emberheart Challenger, our newest card from Bloomburrow to add to the deck. 2 mana, 2/2 with haste and prowess, and it also has Valiant. And whenever Emberheart Challenger becomes a target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, you can exile the top card of your library, and until the end of the turn you may play that card. So very potentially powerful ability on Emberheart Challenger that gives us some additional card draw in the game that can be significant to winning and losing. We also have 4 copies of Slickshot Show-Off, okay, an all-star in the deck from Outlaws of Thunder Junction. We also have 4 copies of Questing Druid, and we're using this more for its adventure. Seek the Beast for 1 and a red mana, exile the top 2 cards of the library, and until your next end step you may play those cards. So typically I'm playing this on my opponent's turn so that I can play the cards on mine. And finishing out the creature base for the deck is 2 copies of Two-Headed Hunter for 4 and a red mana. It's got Menace, it's a 5/4 giant, but again we're using it primarily for its adventure, which is Twice the Rage for 1 and a red mana. You get an instant, and target creature you control gains double strike until the end of turn, and we're using that double strike ability to hopefully put through lethal damage on our opponent by giving this to a Slickshot Show-Off or Emberheart Challenger or Swiftspear that is free and open to go ahead and attack and do damage to your opponent. In support of those, we've got 4 copies of Monstrous Rage, 4 Shocks, 2 Audacity, and the nice thing about Audacity here is it's a +2 buff. It gives that creature trample, but more importantly, if that creature dies, you do get to draw a card, so it kind of replaces itself. I've got 3 copies of Snakeskin Veil to protect our creatures, 4 copies of Demonic Ruckus, again another very good in aura here, where we're able to put this on one of our creatures, give it menace and trample, plus the +1/+1, and again when it dies you get to draw a card. I've got 1 copy of Twinferno. I can copy an instant or sorcery, or I can give something double strike, and most of the time we're going to be giving something double strike. I've got 2 copies of Innkeeper's Talent to give the deck some length at times, where we can get this down and start giving our creatures +1/+1 counters. We can move it to level 2 to go ahead and give it ward of 1, and then if we've got mana in the late game that's just available to us, we can spend 4 mana and we can double the number of counters that are going on a creature, and that is relevant in some of the games we're going to play. And we also have, for removal, we've got 2 copies of Witchstalker Frenzy to go ahead and take out Sheolders and big creatures like that. In our mana base we have 7 mountains, a forest, 4 Copperline Gorges, 4 Karplusan Forest, 2 Restless Ridgeline, and 2 copies of Fabled Passage. In our sideboard we've got 3 copies of Pick Your Poison to take out an enchantment, artifact, or flying creature that your opponent has. We've got 3 copies of Obliterating Bolt. Again, deal with 4 toughness creatures and exile them. We got 3 copies of Brotherhood's End to either deal 3 damage to each creature and planeswalker, or to destroy all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. We've got 3 copies of Urabrask Forge. Again, against control decks, this is a very powerful card because it gives you some inevitability, and usually the control decks don't have a way to deal with Urabrask Forge. We've also got 2 copies of Sunspine Lynx for 2 and 2 red mana. You get a 5/4 elemental cat. And very important here is players cannot gain life, damage cannot be prevented, and when Sunspire Lynx enters, it deals damage to each player equal to the number of non-basic lands that player controls. So potentially we get a little bit of burn when he comes into play as well. And then we also have another copy of Witchstalker Frenzy in case we need another copy to deal with large creatures on our opponent's side. So that's the deck. Let's take it out for a spin and see how we do in best of 3 on Arena. Alright, today we're playing Gruul Prowess in best of 3. We're going to go ahead and meet mulligan since we don't have any creatures to play here. Unfortunately, we get 1 land, so we're going to have to go down to 5. And now we've got a lot of lands. So we're going to get rid of 2 of those lands and keep the rest. We're playing a black deck, and they're going to immediately go ahead and attack our hand. So now we're down to 4 cards. So really unfortunate arena play out there that we, basically go down to 4 cards. But this is one of the problems that we do see with arena as opposed to paper formats, because in paper this doesn't happen anywhere near as much, and now we're going to just flood out. So we're just going to go and plot this. And again, this is just an arena problem that we see a lot, where it, for whatever reason, in a 20-card land deck, 20 land in the deck, it for some reasons really likes to flood a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and drop Fabled Passage and immediately activate it, just to shuffle hopefully to randomize the deck one more time to hopefully get us a better draw out going forward. Opponent hits us for 1. We'll see if they've got any other action. They're just going to level up their Bandit's Talent so that it's starting to do damage to us. Play another Swiftspear. Get a couple of damage in. So now we're at least +1 a turn, assuming that they don't play anything here. But we're in a pretty bad situation, unfortunately, because of the circumstances here. So we're going to go ahead and get Slickshot down here just to try to push some damage. And oh, Arena, you didn't let me play my card. Oh, terrible, terrible Arena clicking problem there, where it just decided to not let me play. So now we may end up having to play that on their turn. Yep. So now we have to play it on their turn, which is terrible. And again, this is 7 damage that doesn't go through that should have gone through. So they should be at 10 right now. Instead, they're at 17 because of Arena. All right, so we're going to go ahead and kill this. And the big thing here is by getting rid of that creature that's going to gain life, we can kind of get ourselves moving again. So we're not quite out of the game yet, but this is definitely putting us into a difficult situation where we really need to get a spell next turn that can pump up Slickshot to help us out here. And we do get that, and we get that with Two-Headed Hunter. And I'm going to go ahead and let them block, and we'll see what they block here. We know that basically we've got 1 turn left, so I'm going to go ahead and keep one of our Swiftspears alive. And again, this is where that 7 damage that Arena took from us really matters in the game, because we've won this game. But unfortunately, Arena screwed us on that one, where it clicked through things and didn't give us the option that we should have had. And they're probably going to win the game because of that. But that's Arena loss. That does not happen in paper, which is one of the things that frustrates me the most about Arena, is things happen on Arena that don't happen in paper. And they've just won this game. So I'm just going to go ahead and concede because of Arena's loss. Yeah, and unfortunately there's nothing I can do there. Arena lost the game for us. Alright, so they're basically playing a control deck. We're going to bring in those. And we're also going to bring in these so we can get rid of their Bandit's Talent. And other things are going to bring in as well. We'll bring in our, not Obliterating Bolts, please, thank you. I didn't want that one. Okay, I want Witchstalker Frenzy, so I've got another card that can help with dealing with our problem card there. I'm going to go ahead and take out these. Let me get this up here for us and take out the Innkeeper's Talents, because these are not going to be very good cards in this particular matchup. I'm going to go ahead and take out a copy of Questing Druid. I'm going to take out a copy of Shock, and I'm going to take out a Demonic Ruckus. And hopefully we can, have a more competitive game there. Again, we won that game if Arena didn't click through that particular problem. So that's one of those things that I really hate with Arena, where it skips steps on you and it becomes problematic. All right, so we've got a good draw out here. Again, we know they're going to attack our hands, so we're going to plot stuff right away. our next one we'll plot Slickshot. And again, we're just trying to get ourselves in that position where we have them tapped out, and then we can go ahead and play from there. Okay, probably another Deep Cavern Bat. Probably going to take Two-Headed Hunter or take our Shock, one of the two. And if they do, for some reason, they made that choice, so that's good for us here. We're going to actually go right now and get some stuff on the board, and we're going to pump up our Slickshot. This is not going to be lethal damage, but it's going to be a lot of damage, and we want to do everything we can to turn the clock against them very quickly. So we've got 15 damage coming to them. So they're down to 5 here. Now they're going to pick up 1 with Deep Cavern Bat. So if we can avoid them killing one of our 2 creatures, then we're in probably pretty good shape. If they kill this, that's okay because we do get the card. Okay, and that's an Urbrass Forge, which is outstanding for us. They apparently have a cut down as well. Oh, they have their ruthless ends, but the good news here is we can do 5 damage, get them back down to 1, and hopefully we can survive the turn with Slickshot in play, or we get another creature and we can take game 2. Okay, so I assume they've got something here that they're going to do. Yeah, another go for the throat. So we're at a place where we need something. We'll just plot the Ruckus. Unfortunately, their discard has cost us a lot here. And now they have an Aclazad. So pretty much we're in bad shape. But because we're going to be saved here by the Slickshot because they attack, so they can't block that. So we are able to get through to do that last bit of damage there. So and this is the resiliency of the deck. I mean, we had an unfortunate situation where they literally stole 3 of our cards, but we're still able to survive and get through all that. So we're going to run it back, and we'll see if we can take game 3 in this matchup. Okay, going to game 3. Okay, another good hand. Okay, we'll immediately get Slickshot plotted so that way they can't take it from us. And they go down to 6, which is a nice little help for us. Okay, we'll get Swiftspear down. Start to get our damage engine going. Now the unfortunate thing here is, okay, well they use a cut down on that, so that means they probably don't have removal, so that's a great thing for us. So now if they can't take something out of our hand, we can get our Urbrass Forge down. Okay, they're going to get something out of it. I'm actually going to get rid of, even though it can give us some stuff, I'm going to get rid of Questing Druid here. And the reason for that is the Emberheart Challengers are just better for us. And it looks like they've got a cut down maybe. And unfortunately we didn't get that 3rd land that we needed. Yeah, so they get a cut down here. But again, next turn we can play another one, or we can get Urbrass Forge down if we have the right stuff. And technically here, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Forge to keep the other stuff in play for us. Okay, and they're going to level up, trying to get some damage in. Okay, we get another Urbrass Forge. Really could use that 3rd land here, but again, we're in okay shape. They've got to get something serious to challenge us at this point. And we can one-shot them if we get a land here, because we can play Slickshot, give it Monstrous Rage, and then give it Double Strike to win the game for us. And that's really the power of the deck, so we'll see what they've got here. If they've got anything. Okay, they're going to go ahead and tell us to exile something. We'll get rid of our other Forge, because we want to keep our plan in place. Okay, we get another Slickshot. I'm going to actually go right now and let's get them down as low as we can. I'm going to actually hit Emberheart Challenger so we get the card draw option here. Hopefully we can draw that third land. We don't get it. We get an Audacity, but we've got them down to 8. And then next turn we can give something double strike, and that hopefully will be enough to win the game. Alright, they're playing Bandit's Talent, so we'll go ahead and get rid of our extra slick shot here. Okay, so we're going to lose some life, which is no big deal in the matchup. And I'm going to blocks here, and I'm going to let them block if they want to, because we're not going to win it on this turn this way, but we do get that extra card draw, which unfortunately for us isn't what we needed, but that's going to be enough to win game 3. Alright, great turn of events there to go ahead and take down a mono black deck and get our first victory of the day. Alright, we'll take the play on this one, see what we get here. Not a great opening hand, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it because we've got some quality abilities here to go with Emberheart Challenger. Okay, we have a creature land too, so that's helpful to us. Alright, we're going to go ahead and plot our Slick Shot. And our opponent gets that down. And I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. And the reason is I figure I can get... We'll see if they block. They don't. Alright, let's see if we can get them down to below 5 here. I think we're going to get pretty close. Get them to 5. That's 16 damage. And then next turn we've got Emberheart Challenger that we can bring into the game to help us out. And really we're putting them on the back foot here. And Zoraline is a little bit of a problem for us, but hopefully we'll get something we can play here, and that'll help us out. Swiftspear really isn't a big help for us. I'm going to go for a shuffle here, or randomize here. And the reason for that is I just want to see if we can get a better draw out of cards, because at this point, you know, we're having to stay back because we really don't have an option here, so we won't be able to attack. And the bad news for us is this is a very good life gain deck, so they're going to be gaining life every turn against us, and that's going to put us in a really difficult spot here. And Zoraline unfortunately has Vigilance. Not sure why they gave such a powerful creature that, but they did. Okay, so we're down to 13. Okay. Alright. And we're going to go ahead and attack again. We've got Trample, so the double strike will help us out quite a bit here. Okay, and they've made a tactical error, because that's going to give us 4. That's going to kill Zoraline, get 1 through, and then we've got 4 and 2, and that's the 6 we need to take game 1. And that's that really, really important part of double strike in this matchup, or in really any of these matchups, because double strike is something that really does change the parameters a lot in the game. I'm going to go ahead and bring those in, and we know they've got the Sheoldred, so we'll do the Witchstalker Frenzy as well. In this case, I'm going to take out the Innkeeper's Talent. Again, in this kind of matchup, it's not the best card for us. And I'm also going to take out a copy of Shock, because we know we added in those additional cards to deal specifically with creatures with flying. Alright, going to game 2 against what looks like an Orzhov bat deck. Okay, so good start for us. We're going to go ahead and start plotting our stuff getting us into that position where we can hopefully one-shot the opponent or pretty close to it. Okay, opponent gains a life there. We'll plot a Slickshot. And next turn we'll probably do the exact same thing. We'll plot another Slickshot. And hopefully they don't have a lot of life gain here, because that would hurt us a little bit. But, okay, they're playing Gix. That's interesting. Wasn't expecting to be playing Gix. So that'll give them some extra card draw. But, again, we're holding here. We're playing our game. And next turn we can play Emberheart Challenger if we need to, or we can just play both Slickshots and then Ruckus and then leave up. Okay, and we'll be able to, so Arena's told us what we need to do here, so we're going to go ahead and play our Slickshots. And they're tapped out, so we'll just put this on one of them. Okay, and that brings us to 7 damage. We'll force them to sacrifice their Bloodletter of Aklazad, so that brings us to 11 damage. And we'll hit this one with a Monstrous Rage to bring us to 17 or 18 damage, and we'll, for good measure, we'll Snakeskin Veil to get us over 20. And that's game 2. Alright, and that's the power of the deck. And I think a key thing to understand with this particular deck, and I'll show you right here, is my opponent was tapped out. They couldn't do anything. I bring both Slickshots in, and then I had 3 spells I could cast, hit them, and now I'm doing well over 20 damage to the opponent because of that. And that's really the power in this deck. And now, obviously, Slickshot's the best way to do this, but there is a way that I could have done that if I had an Emberheart Challenger on the field. We could have kind of done the same thing with Emberheart Challenger to get us to that place where we could just one-shot our opponent to win the game. Alright, playing Gruul Prowess and best of 3 ranked play on Arena. And we'll go ahead and get our Swiftspear down right away, because in this situation we want to go fairly quickly against this Golgari deck. Okay, they've got their... Okay. And we're not going to attack. We'll just plot our Slickshot. We'll do our thing. No attack. And the good news here is we can get that 3rd land. We've got a lot of options on the next turn. Okay, playing Caustic Bronco. We don't get it, but we do get another Slickshot, so we'll just plot that one. Say go. Okay, they get a land. We'll take 2 damage. An opponent is, you know, they're holding back stuff. I'm assuming they've got some kill spells here, so whatever we do play is going to be, you know, and they can do a cut down. Okay. I mean, and that actually helps us a little bit because, and we'll go ahead and do a shuffle now. Get us another land. And we're not in danger of losing at this point, so we can be patient with everything here. And I'm just going to go ahead and play Emberheart Challenger here and say go. And if they kill it, they kill it. That's fine. Because we can protect our Slickshots that way. And hopefully we can get a 4th land here, and then we can get a bunch of different activations. And maybe be able to one-shot them if we can get to that 3rd one. And what would really be nice is get one of our Snakeskin Veils here to protect whatever we're playing. Okay, they're going to play a Sheoldred. Okay, they're going to try to get themselves up. I mean, and this is a, you know, situation where we're going to lose some life probably here. We lose 3, and we're going to lose 2 more. So we're pretty close to being dead. I know it doesn't seem like it, but we're actually pretty close to being dead here. Okay, the good news is that we did get that additional land, so now we can do some different things. Okay, first we're going to do Innkeeper's Talent. Okay, and now I'm going to go ahead and just for argument's sake, I'm going to hit this. And we'll see what happens here. Okay, we get a shock, so that's actually pretty valuable to us here because we'll kill this. That's going to get us another activation. And we should be able to win the game here. We'll give it to that. Because we're doing... Yep. And that's the power of these slick shots. I mean, if your opponent cannot interact with you, you're in a very powerful position. Now, against this deck, this is a deck we want to bring in our Brass Forges against. Okay, we also want to bring in our extra Witchstalker Frenzy and some of our Obliterating Bolt. So we've got to lose some stuff here. So in this one, we'll take out one of our Twinfernos. We're also going to go ahead and take out a couple of Questing Druids to make it a little bit better for us. And then I'm going to go ahead and take out the Audacities in this case, and then I'll take out a Demonic Ruckus for us. So that's a little bit less that can activate Emberheart Challenger's ability, but I think in this case, doing the things that we know are going to be really good against the Golgari deck are important here. And they really don't have an answer to Brass Forge normally. I mean, they could, but in most cases they don't. So I do expect to see them playing Duress here. So we could get Duress on turn 1. All right, this is the kind of the playout we want. So we'll go ahead and play our Copperline Gorge, and then we'll plot Ruckus, plot Slickshot. Okay, and they did what we expected. Them to play one of their tap lands. Okay, they do it again. We'll go ahead and Slickshot. Okay, we get another Brass Forge. And unfortunately in this situation there's not much we can do because we don't have that third land. And we really need to get that third land to get us moving here. Yeah, having problems drawing that third land is putting us in a tough spot here. Because we don't want to play Slickshot and it just die to removal. So we either need a Witchstalker Frenzy, I'm sorry, not a Witchstalker Frenzy, we need a Snakeskin Veil, or we need that third land so we can kind of get something else going. But opponent is playing very cautious at this point because I would think they have some stuff they could play, but they're choosing not to. Okay, so we get that third land finally. Unfortunately, we won't get it for this turn, but at least we're moving in the right direction with our land count. Okay, we'll go ahead and pass again. If they do play a 2 toughness creature, we do have the shock to kill it. But I've got to assume that they've got in their hand right now at least one removal card. So I'm just going to go ahead and play something that they probably can't deal with immediately, which is Brass Forge. And we'll go ahead and attack with that. And they're going to activate their... Yeah, and that's fine. We don't care. You're tapped out now. Next turn, you know, it's a situation where we can do something different. Okay, we'll see what they do here. They do nothing again. All right, so this is actually an opportunity for us to play Slickshot. And because I know they've got removal, I'm just going to play the other Forge. They're going to kill this, and that's fine. I'm actually making it a sacrificial lamb in this situation. I'm not going to put the Demonic Ruckuses on it because I don't want them to just go kill it. They may just go ahead and activate. Yep, they're going to go activate their cottage again, deflecting 2 of the damage. And again, they can kill Slickshot with a removal spell here that they've got, which I would anticipate they're going to do. Yep, they cut it down since we weren't able to do more than that. And we'll go ahead and go to the next turn. And we're actually not in a terrible situation. What I'm going to do this turn that I didn't do in the past is, okay, we do get a Slickshot. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. Hopefully draw out their cottage. Use our Obliterating Bolt on it. And they'll take a couple damage here, but the big thing is we're going to get rid of their cottage. And we're going to do it this way, so they don't get the benefit of blocking this time. We just get rid of it. Okay, we'll see if they have any removal they want to put in place. They don't. It appears. And this is where the forges just can take over the game, where the opponent, they're trying to play around slick shots, and we're using everything else to get to where we want to be. Okay, opponent drawing a card, losing a life. I assume they're going to play something. They're going to draw another card. Okay, lose another life. And then I've got to assume they're going to play at least one of these, if not both of them. Okay, so they just play the one. So that's telling me that they have a removal card. So I'm just going to probably go ahead and plot Slickshot, not worry about it. Okay, so now we're in a situation where we can actually play Slickshot. And this is going to be potentially a blowout turn for us, because we've got enough damage to win right now. So there's one spell they could have that would outdo this, but probably it's not a spell they've got at this point, because I think they would have used it already. But we're sending 14 damage at them, and we'll send. Yep, they're going to go for the throat. We're going to go ahead and Snakeskin Veil and blow them out here. And again, this is the power of Slickshot doing 10 damage on a turn. But the Forges were the all-star of this particular game, because they were able to really disrupt what the opponent was doing. And that's what eventually gets us to that win there. Alright, I'm back for the post-game wrap. So overall, I've been playing this deck a lot this month in ranked, and I've been making various changes as I've gone. Overall, I'm winning at 55%. We're winning more games on the draw than we're losing. 57% on the play, which is a little bit low from where I've been with this deck. The problematic deck has been the Orzhov deck, so that's the one that I've struggled the most against. But with the current iteration that I played with at the 2-store championships, okay, winning at 80%, winning at 75% on the play, 75% on the draw. And that to me tells me that this is definitely one of the better decks in the format when we can consistently win at a high rate. And I think this will be a contender as we move into Duskmourn season and into Foundations in the fall, and then getting into the new year. I don't see this deck going away. I think it probably gets stronger as we go. So thanks for staying to the end of the video. Remember to like and subscribe to get further content like this throughout Bloomburrow season, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks. I'll see you next time.